As Nigeria gears up to celebrate its 64th independence anniversary, organizers of the October 1st protest against hardship in the country have insisted that they would proceed with the showdown, despite kicks by the federal government and warnings by the Nigerian police force. In spite of appeals by some stakeholders and the federal government calling for calm, organizers of the protest against hardship in the country have insisted on going ahead. Now, no going back, hashtag fearless in October. A former presidential candidate and activist who is one of the leaders of the planned October 1st protest, Omoyele Sowore, wrote this on his social media platform X on Monday, insisting on the action and saying it would be held across the nation. Well, joining me to discuss this at this time is Omoyele Sowore, is actually the convener for Revolution Now movement. He joins virtually. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. It's great to have this conversation again. This time around, I understand you're in the country. And the last time, I think you were away. But it's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, we hear of a protest tomorrow. I mean, there has been momentum around this. What's it about? What's going on?
It's a continuation of the End Bad Governance protest that took place for 10 days in August. And you remember we said that 10 days was just going to happen and continue until we win. That was the promise we made to Nigerian people. And tomorrow is Independence Day, so symbolically, we chose that day because most Nigerians have found that independence did not fulfill their aspirations and needs. And we are seeking new independence, this time around from internal colonialists, people who are Nigerians who colonized other Nigerians and their resources. So you would understand that since the last protest, things have gotten worse. Prices of goods and services, gasoline, petrol, the value of the naira has depreciated seriously. So there's even more need now than August to have a showdown. All right.
You said that the protest is freedom. Part of the reason is freedom from I didn't get that part well. You said mental
colonialism. Freedom from internal colonialists.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate more on what that actually means?
Well, independence in 1960, why did we seek for independence? We're being governed by white people, particularly the British. And we said, well, we don't want to be an appendage of the British colonialist people who were running Nigeria from the United Kingdom and under the rulership of the Queen. And we're giving flag independence, and people took over. I think now it is time to get independence from our people, who have even done worse things than the white people did to us when we were under colonial rule. That's simply what it means.
All right. So what asides that, what are the demands, on this protest?
I think we've read the demands to you each time we came on here. So it includes, having a brand new constitution for the country. We want Nigeria to practice real democracy. We want them to reverse fuel price increment to what it used to be when Tinubu came to power. We want the naira to be given appreciation. We want Nnamdi Kanu to be released and all the detained political activists across the country, including those who were recently detained for end bad governance activities. We want to reform the judiciary, not what they're saying now, but we actually want the judiciary to be such that it works for Nigerian people. We want the court and cost of governance. We have asked for them to remove one of the arms of legislative system, whether Senate or House of Rep, whichever one works for us, and make lawmaking a part-time endeavor so that we don't keep paying these people, these loafers who are in our legislative. So all these demands are 15 in number, which includes restructuring, security reform, so that to end insecurity across the country. And you are aware that we are the ones who first asked for a 250,000 minimum wage in the country. So all these demands, I'm sure you've read and we've read to you several times, but I'm just reiterating the most important ones.
Okay, Sowore, do you think Nigerians still have faith in protest? Because, I mean, in recent times, Nigerians have witnessed at least two major protests. I'm talking about the End Bad Governance protest and then the End SARS protest. And many are beginning to ask, I mean, what exactly came out of it? So, I mean, the End Bad Governance, for instance, we know what the price of premium motor spirit was. And right now we know what the price is. So my question is, do protests really get things done? Does it get the answers?
Oh, yeah, it does. In fact, you remember that before the protest, a lot of things that you and I didn't know about were happening. Within the last time there was a protest, and now they have even done some superficial things. The president himself had to address the nation, although we all know it was all baloney. They've so far removed two major security heads, but those are not the things we're asking for. You've seen even elders of the country moving into the villa to ask for a change in the constitution. They have had, new discussions about minimum wage ever since our protests. Since we call this protests, they're not asking to pay them, but we are saying that if you do one protest and they don't seem to get it, they'll get more protests. As to whether Nigerians are interested in protests, who are the people who did the protests in August for 10 days? Are they not Nigerians? They're not aliens. And we have assurances from Nigerians that they will even come out more tomorrow, larger numbers that probably we had last time. But we'll wait tomorrow and see.
How about dialogue as an option?
We're not protesting because we're looking for dialogue. No.
All right. Let's also talk about another pivotal issue, and that has to do with some of the demands that, I mean, you've stated out. For some Nigerians, they would feel that, I mean, these demands are pretty extensive. You said about 15. That why not make it pretty much concise and for some, maybe realistic?
Which one is not realistic? Tell me.
I mean, you've talked about the cost of governance, which of course I agree with you to a large extent needs to go down. But there are some other items, that some might feel, you know what, this might
just
even...
mention one. So
okay,
we can
so you've said, for instance, two houses that maybe it should be, stemmed down to one. But some experts will tell you, that they perform different functions. And for that reason, given the complexity of Nigeria, it's needed.
The problem is that they don't even perform any functions. That's the problem. You get my point? They perform no function. They're just a rubber stamp. So I think Nigeria will even be better off if we don't have a parliamentary system of government. I mean, a parliament or a national assembly, because this crop of guys are just there to help themselves. They're a bunch of contractors, extortionists, and people who use the Senate as a retirement home after they've been governors. Do we really need that? I mean, did you not hear today how the Senate president went to represent the wife of the president at an event? That shows to you that we've gotten it wrong. They're lost, and we need to just be realistic. A unicameral legislative system is enough. They have that in Senegal, they have in South Korea, and it costs less. And we also requested for part-time lawmaking so that nobody sits in Abuja, collects 150 million naira worth of vehicle, just to do nothing, just to be loafing around.
All right. I remember the last time I met you at the airport when you arrived the country. You said that your luggage, away from, of course, the protest right now, you said your luggage was missing. Have you been able to locate it?
Oh, I looked at it that night. They called me and said somebody accidentally took the luggage. So I go to the airport. I looked at the luggage they claimed was taken in place of my luggage. My luggage is black. That one was blue. They had different text, different heights. I don't know how on it somebody could have mistakenly thought my luggage was his or hers, because the difference was clear. But I took back my luggage, and since the whole world was aware that my luggage was missing, and I didn't lock it, I checked it out. I don't know if anything went missing, but none of the things I thought could go missing went missing. So I took it back, and I've ever since been in possession of that luggage.
Do you suspect foul play?
I don't know, but I don't put anything beyond these guys. But the person wrote a note saying that this was a mistake, so I just take it on a face value.
All right, Mr. Omoyele, let's digress a bit and talk about one issue that is pretty much on the front burner for Nigerians, and that has to do with the issue of VDM, that's Very Dark Man, and Bobrisky. We've seen that this drama, has a lot of featurings. We've seen the Correctional Center being involved, the EFCC, and I mean, the train keeps expanding. What's your take?
There's nothing to it that would even excite me. It's just, that somebody just found out that Bobrisky did not spend, time in prison. Is not new. As far back as 2017 or so, Femi Falana and I and Larry Suraj of HEDA, we worked on a report showing that the NDLA, whenever people are jailed for drug trafficking, don't even take them to prison. They pay before they get to prison, so then go back right back into the business. I was even in prison myself to check on somebody before this one came out. One guy named Ijele, and I was trying to get the prison to show me a letter from where they said a judge gave a remand order in Anambra. We just asked for a copy. They said I should apply. I applied. It has now taken a week. They refused to let us see something that needs no application. Just like, give me a photocopy of why this guy was remanded in prison. The system is rotten. And it is now that some Nigerians are excited about it because, like you said, it's been dramatized. So I don't pay attention to much drama. I think we focus on the big problem, which is the source of the problem, government itself. I have seen this year EFCC doing some of the most ridiculous things. Even the arrests and the drama around Bobrisky was diversionary. When you have big thieves in town, you're going after a person who was spraying money. Yeah, people spray money every day. I shouldn't have been the focus of EFCC. But, they have perfected how to distract Nigerians in this country.
So do you consider all of it a distraction?
To a large extent, there's a part of me that just can't feel that this is any big deal beyond just some distraction. I think, for instance, I don't know why anybody would go and say that the minister under whose supervision this happened, so you go and meet him and pat him on the back. In any same society, demand should be made to resign immediately. That's the first target. So that's what makes me feel, I'm very kind of icky about it. It's like, is this all like some kind of distraction? Yeah. I must say, there's a part of me that feels that way.
Okay. Let's come back to tomorrow's protest. Have you had meetings with security agencies on this, particularly with the police?
Say that again.
Have you had meetings with security agencies, particularly the police, ahead of the protest? Have there been meetings?
No, we actually don't have any business meeting with police over protest. We have, as a matter of course, written to them through our lawyer, in the Bay FM, to notify them to do the needful, which is to protect Nigerians who are protesting. But we don't have to write to police. We don't have to meet with police because we will protest. No, we don't. Okay,
and the issue of some protesters that were arrested, during the last protest. What's the update as regards some of them that are still, being detained? All right. We, of course, will go on a quick break. At this time, when we, of course, get back, we'll pick up. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have my guest with me. Omoyele Sowore is the convener of Revolution Now movement, and we are talking as regards tomorrow's protest, which will be happening on October 1st in Nigeria. Thank you for staying with me, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. All right.
Thank you so much.
Great. One issue that seems to, reoccur during peaceful protests like this is an escalation into, unfortunately, violence and then confrontation at the end of the day. So my question to you is, are there safety measures, being put in place to ensure, in terms of mobility, movement, protocol, and all of that, to ensure that issues like this don't arise?
We have always done that. We've always put in place measures to protect protesters. We do everything that is according to the rules regarding protests. So what you should be asking is why, regardless of how people conform with international standards for protesting, police or the government or security agencies always come and attack them unduly and injure them and kill people and arrest and detain people and put false charges on them. This time around, this ridiculous charge of treason, which carries death penalty. You're wondering if you're in a different country, if this is democracy. So we've never, ever partaken in any protest that is violent nature. But unfortunately, we have to deal with people who feel like they have a license to kill and have done this forever. And somehow, someday, this has to end as well. And that is why you see Nigerians continue to tolerate their excesses and engage in peaceful protests. If we very peaceful people, nobody will announce the date of protest. Boko Haram don't announce date of protest. Militants in the Niger Delta don't announce things, they just blow up things. But we're not like that. We have taken the path of peace and non-violence, and this is what we'll continue to do. And we'll do so fearlessly.
All right. Another issue also has to do with some who might feel that this protest are merely anti-party or anti-government or even partisan, activities to push, a private agenda or interest. I mean, we know that you're a former presidential candidate, for instance, and you belong to a party. So how do you respond to accusations like that?
Didn't the ruling party now, APC, organize protests, participate in protests? Didn't Tinubu participate in protests? Didn't Atiku participate in protests? Didn't Buhari organize and participate in protests? Didn't pastors, GOs in this country engage in protests in the past? Why didn't you accuse them of the same thing when they did? Protest is a right. Everybody have a right to protest, whether you belong to a political party or you don't belong to a political party, whether you believe in government or you don't believe in government. This question is completely needless.
I mean, you can't say it's needless because
it's fundamental
you can't
right.
say it's needless. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's my fundamental right to protest, whether I belong to a political party or not. The biggest political or the oldest political party on the continent of Africa is probably the ANC, right? The African National Congress. Have they not protested from 1918 to 1994? Even now they still protest. The EFCC, Malema's party, EFF, Malema's party in South Africa, don't they protest all the time? Don't the APC protest? Didn't Wike, the current minister of FCT, lead a protest in Port Harcourt? So why are you asking all these unnecessary questions?
You can't say it's unnecessary. I'm sorry. It's like saying Nigerians who want to know are asking unnecessary questions. The reason why I asked is because I know, or we know.
I understand.
Okay.
And I've told you this before because I sat here in August, right in front of you, when you were mocking me that oh, I called protest, I ran away from the country. So, and it became what was used by the APC government as as a campaign.
Well, I'm
Context
not aware
after
of that
that.
part.
So,
I'm not aware of that
I'm
part. I
telling
just
you,
asked
I
you
am telling
a
you,
question.
I'm telling you that even as a reporter, right, as a broadcast journalist, you should know that the fact that somebody is part of a political party does not preclude them from engaging in protest. In fact, and I have educated you that the APC, that is the All Progressive Congress, that is in power today, was a party that used protest to get to power. And there's nothing wrong with that. So why is it that
Mr.
suddenly
Omoyele,
you didn't ask them why they
Mr. Omoyele,
protested during their own time, and now you're asking why I'm protesting? I've been protesting since 1989 when I never joined the political party. How's that strange to you that I'm still leading protests?
Mr.
Tell
Omoyele,
me.
of course it's public knowledge that
Yes.
the ruling party rode on the heels of protest when they were in the
Yes.
opposition. So I think it's just, okay for Nigerians to also ask, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, is there an agenda behind this protest?
Is it not also factual that I've been protesting against bad governance since 1989? Don't you know that?
All right, let's move away from that. Let's talk about the post-protest. At the end of the day, what do you anticipate should be, the eventual outcome? What is the objective? What are you hoping for?
I'm hoping for victory tomorrow or beyond. And this is a marathon. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, we keep going until we're liberated from these Italian colonialists. So that's what we told you in August, and we're fulfilling our promise again in October. And this will continue until such a time that we have our dignity back as a people.
All right. Now, just before I let you go, why is this one tagged fearless?
Because we feel like giving it a hashtag that has the appeal to people who want to know that you can be fearless even in a society where fear is a currency.
Omoyele Sowore, thank you so much for your time, as always.
Thank you so much for having me always, man.